During the holiday season, you've probably noticed car and home break-ins increase.
Sad but true, Xavier Harris says it's time to be vigilant and avoid being a victim.
As the holiday season approaches, many families are shopping for gifts and catching the best deals on Black Friday. While this can be a fun time for family bonding and getting the best deals, law enforcement says this is also the best time for criminals to find their next victims.
Lock their doors. Keep valuables out of the car, especially firearms.
Sergeant David Miller with the Signal Mountain Police Department says on average, they respond to more than a dozen car break-ins per holiday season.
Well, because people are not diligent and they start leaving their gifts in there because they buy a bunch of stuff and they go, I'll get it tomorrow or I'll get it later on tonight, and they fall asleep and, you've got bad guys looking.
According to the Hamilton County Counted report, last year, there were over 2,000 car burglaries, with September holding the record for 243.
Always be situationally aware. I remind my family, I remind people around, know who's around you. Notice people who are looking at you because, bad guys are looking. They're looking for a chance to, that you're going to drop your guard.
Sergeant Holloway says Christmas Day is when most families see all of their break-ins, and that's because the presents that they opened on Christmas Day, they take the boxes to the trash at the curb.
It's sometimes unavoidable. So what I try to tell people is don't put it all out at one time. If you've got a garage, I break mine up. So, I break it up and put it in the garbage can, leave it for, do it a couple trash days.
And while car break-ins are common during the holiday season, he says several folks become victims of online scams as well, something Michelle Mason with the Better Business Bureau hears on a daily basis.
Online shopping, package delivery scams, and even with fake charities that know that this is a time of giving.
Mason says hundreds of millions of dollars are estimated to be lost to scams this year alone. According to the Federal Trade Commission, there were 2.6 million fraud reports, with $10 billion reportedly lost. In past years, she says the targets were older generations who didn't know much about online shopping. But she says now that age group has changed.
We're seeing that 18 to 25-year-olds or maybe to early 30-year-olds are really the target. And unfortunately, many of those young adults are contacting us and telling us that they did not receive what they expected or they didn't receive anything at all. Many times the merchandise ends up coming from another country, and if there's a problem, it's really difficult to resolve that.
Mason says while shopping in-store and online, criminals can copy your cards, which is why she says it's safer to use credit cards in case you fall victim.
There's built-in protections for your credit card that typically don't exist for using a debit card or a cash type app like a Venmo.
According to the FTC, last year, Tennessee ranked 16th with the highest reports of fraud with over 70,000 reports. Mason says if you are scammed, it's best to report it immediately.
If it's a credit card purchase, they'll give you 60 days to report that. If it goes beyond that, you may not have as much assistance. If you're using a debit card or other form of payment that's really equivalent to cash, it becomes extremely difficult.
Mason says while this is something heard every year around the holiday season, it's best to follow safe practices so you and your family can have a safe, fun holiday season. Reporting in Hamilton County, I'm Xavier Harris, Local 3 News.